This episode is brought to you by Buick. Buick certified service technicians are factory trained to fit your vehicle with the tires specifically developed for it. And with our tire price match guarantee, you get the best fit for the best deal. Buick, exceptional by design. Available on select eligible tire brands at participating dealers only. Offer ends 12/31/2025. Terms apply. See dealer for complete details. Visit buick.com/service to learn more.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
How long had you been dating?
It was about 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3, well, it was 2 or 3 weeks, she says to me. Well, it's about 2 or 3 weeks. What do you want? Yeah, okay.
This is the plaintiff, Yolanda Johnson. She says she and the defendant hit it off immediately and began dating soon after. She told him she was going on a cruise with her family and he wanted to go with them. She went ahead and booked the trip for him. Then a short time later, he gave an about-face and cut off all contact with her. Just like that, he was out of her life with no contact. And now she can't get him to pony up the $656.54 she laid out for him. So here they are. This is the defendant, James Lawrence. He says he and the plaintiff dated, and she mentioned a cruise she was going on with her family. Sounded like a good time, so he told her he was interested in going with them. Short time later, he discovered the woman was married and maybe even a little crazy. He stopped speaking with her, hoping she'd get the hint, and was shocked to discover she went out and bought a plane ticket for him and booked the cruise. Bottom line, who does that? He's accused of rocking the boat.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You seated? Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Yolanda Johnson.
Yes.
You are suing James Lawrence, your former something, former person that you dated, for $656.54, money that you paid for flights and a cruise ship, his portion of a cruise ship room that he had told you to book, according to you, and then kind of hit the road before the trip and never paid you. Tell me what happened.
We had met back in December at a mutual friend's house. He sort of pursued me that night while we was there. We exchanged numbers the next day, started going out to breakfast, going out to dinner, things like that. And our conversations were getting to know each other. We decided we wanted to go to Atlantic City together, which we did maybe like 2 or so weeks after we had met. Somewhere along the line there, we had also communicated. I had communicated to him that I was going on a cruise with my family to the Bahamas, and he expressed he had never gone, he wanted to go. We had decided he was going to come along, and we was going to, book the cruise.
How long had you been dating when that decision was made?
Somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks.
Because, you can bail. If you're in Atlantic City and you're having a bad time with a guy you barely know, you can kind of just take a bus and go.
Yeah.
Take your car and leave. You can do a million things. But when you're like, in the middle of the ocean, you better like that guy. How long had you been dating?
It was about 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3, well, it was 2 or 3 weeks, she says to me. Well, it's about 2 or 3 weeks. What do you want? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was about 2 or 3 weeks. But
I don't know why you're laughing. I'll be there in a minute. Go ahead.
Everything was going fine. Everything,
Well, what could go wrong?
I didn't see anything wrong,
No, what could go wrong? Nothing could go wrong. It's not like, you could possibly expect that maybe he won't pay you back and then you'll end up in court.
Yeah, never thought I would be here. So we went to Atlantic City. Everything was fine. We had a good time. My sister was also there with us at that time.
Tell me about the conversation about the cruise.
It was just a general conversation. I don't remember word for word what it was, but he expressed that he wanted to go.
Okay.
I told him, okay, I will go ahead and start looking for airfares and things like that. At no time did he express any concerns about it or whatever.
Did you ever talk to him before you actually booked the airfare or booked the cruise?
We did have a conversation in the car about going and, how long it was going to be for, the ports it was going to. I also texted him because I work at nighttime.
Yeah, but did he know you'd booked it?
Yeah.
How did he know?
I work at night, so I'm on the internet during the wee hours in the morning. And so what I did, I texted him to send me your date of birth because when you book the cruise, you have to have the correct information. And he gave it to me.
Do you have any text back and forth where you're telling him, I'll need this to book that? Let me see your text. What's going on? Let me hear your... By the way, let's just cut to the chase. You guys broke up before the cruise, right? The cruise is this month.
This next week.
Next week?
Yes.
You taking another guy? Well, are you?
No.
Are you taking a girlfriend?
No.
Were you planning on staying in the same room with him?
I'm in the room by myself.
Yeah, that's... listen, my grandmother used to say, mejor sola que mal acompañada. Better alone than poorly accompanied. What's going on?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. As far as I remember, we met at a mutual friend's house in January. I believe we went to Atlantic City. And during the course in between there, this is during the span of about 2 to 3 weeks. And she told me about the cruise, and she asked me if I wanted to go. I didn't jump. Like,
Okay, so she asked you, would you like to go?
Would I like to go with her family? And I was like, yeah, it don't sound bad. You go to, we chill out in Miami for a couple of days, get on the boat, chill out. Mm-hmm. And everything that she's saying up until this point was right. I did give her the information because I was interested. Mm-hmm. The problem started when I got to know her a little better, in all honesty. And I noticed that she's not a bad person. It's just that the time that she required, I was not able to commit.
She was high maintenance?
No, the time.
What do you mean?
She required a lot of time.
Yeah, that's high maintenance. Okay, that's what I mean.
When I say high maintenance, I think of money.
Oh, no, sometimes it could just suck the life out of you. It doesn't have to be just money.
No.
But so she wanted you to spend more time with her than you felt that you could afford or wanted to.
Yeah, because I'm a single father, and I told her that off top. I have 3 children that require my time.
A lot of time. They're high maintenance.
Yeah.
Right.
And as a result,
just out of curiosity, like what was she require? It doesn't matter because that's a decision you make for yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, what was she asking of you to see you how many times a week?
It wasn't the amount of times. It wasn't maybe 2 to 3 times a week, which I cut down to maybe once. But
were you seeing other people? Yeah, so you got the time. I think it's not a time issue. It's not a time management quandary. It's just you're just not that into her, which is fine. You have that right too.
Initially, I found her conversations to be very engaging.
Right.
But I noticed that she's long-winded.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. How long should somebody date somebody else before they start fronting money, loaning somebody money?
I would say a year.
That sounds reasonable. What do you think, sir?
6 months to a year.
What would you ever loan somebody money in a relationship before you get either moving together or are married?
I don't think so. I think at least living together.
You are a smart woman going inside the courtroom.
Long-winded. Okay, we're getting too specific here. She wanted it to progress. You did not want it to progress. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Go on.
And I noticed that I wasn't able to maintain it, and it started to cause a rift. And I started to gradually fall back in terms of the communication and commitment of time.
Okay, but what about the money? Because now we're talking about the money. We're talking about money that she put on the line because you were supposed to go and then you changed your mind and weren't going. Why wouldn't you have to pay her back?
Because I never asked her to pay for me to begin with.
You never asked her to pay for it, but if you're giving her your date of birth, what do you think she wants with it? You think she wants to throw you a surprise party?
No.
Okay,
now,
so you know that she's doing something with the agencies in order to book it. Now, how can you say that you don't know she's booking it? Do you have the emails?
Yes.
Okay, when you get a chance, call me. I want to book flights for Mother Day cruise airfare 224 right now. Did he respond?
He did. I don't know what time I sent that. It may have been like...
Well, this wasn't even that long ago. When did you do this?
I booked...
This email is like 2 weeks ago.
No, that was actually in February. What happened is when I transferred from
out.
Texas
I want your text.
email.
Give me your phone. I don't want this whole thank you for taking the effort to put it on pretty paper and everything. But it doesn't give me the date of the actual text, which is what's relevant to me. Oh, for the love of God, can we get past all the sexting? Where should I start looking?
If you just scroll through.
Yes, you found our conversation scintillating. I'm sure you did.
If you see the ones that have the lock key on it, those are the ones related to the.
Okay. She tells you in a text, I'm booking the airfare, and you said okay. What part about that do you think doesn't require money?
None, but I never asked her to pay for it for me. Or the cruise.
Yeah, but if you're, what are you saying, that you thought this was going to be a gift that you were never going to?
No,
You just didn't know she was actually going to book it? It's hard to say that when you have a text here that says, and then here's another one, January 22nd. I booked the airfare to Miami, total $258 per person. I'm going to book the cruise today, $100 deposit. Call me when you get up. And you're not like, whoa, what are you doing? Don't put money down. I don't know where this is going. You're still like, coochie at this point.
Yeah, because it's still January.
I love being, okay, well, but like, so what part about this means you don't have to pay anything? What is your defense? I didn't know, I didn't ask her to put money down. She was buying it for me as a gift. I never knew I had to pay her back. Or I thought we were still in the preliminary stages, which obviously these texts show you weren't. So what is your defense?
My defense is, as we progressed and we got into the month of February, You have that right. You are free and American. Mm-hmm. You can decide that you don't have the time, for a real relationship, that you prefer to be like on the outskirts of things. I got to tell you, just, as a woman, let me just explain to you one thing. When you want to be on the outskirts, you don't send these kind of texts to a woman. Okay? Okay.
You may not know because you're not wired like we are, but when you say, I need the touch of you, the smell of you, I crave you, and then you go, whoa, lady, where did that come from? You're so needy. It's kind of weird, okay? So if you want to be on the surface of things, you need to stay on the surface of things. It seems to me that you want to be like right here and then you run in the opposite direction, but you're welcome to do that. You are free and American. What I am telling you, though, is if you turn around, you make an obligation with someone because you say, yes, I'd like to go on the cruise. Oh, okay, it's the $258, gotcha. Oh, you're putting down a $100 deposit, gotcha. If you turn around and you do all those things, then break up with her, but pay her. That's what a gentleman would do. You'd say, all right, I don't want you to be out any money. You're a lovely lady. I'm sorry, it's not going to work out. We're just not in sync, and boom, 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 and lay out some dough. But you bail on the vacation, and then you leave her holding $656.54.
But honestly, Your Honor, I remember the text about the airfare. I clearly remember that. But after that, they soured between us so quickly, I don't remember anything else in regards to
But there's nothing else to remember. This is all in January. The stuff is all happening in January. The airfare, the cruise deposit, all that stuff is happening in January when you're committing to be half of the cost of the cruise. And even if she had to pay it like recently, that doesn't matter. The commitment to pay it was made in January.
But my question is, if things started to sour between us in February, why would you continue paying it?
Because you have to, because you made the obligation to do it, and she wants to go on the cruise. With or without you, there was a cruise she was going on with her family. But she ended up getting a room for you two, commits to a certain thing, buys your airfare and all that, because if not, she would have gotten somebody else to share a room with her. But then she finds out that you're bailing on her so late. Why does she have to do that? If you agree to pay for half of the expenses and you change your mind about it, you still have to pay for half of the expenses. Let me tell you something. This is why you don't agree to pay for half of the expenses. It was my daughter's birthday the other day. She's 17 years old. She's dating a boy named Bert. So as one of her gifts, I gave her a wool hat of Bert, that character from Sesame Street. And they loved it. They thought it was hysterical. And all of a sudden it occurs to me, it is April 2nd in Miami. And I turned and looked at the boy and go, do you understand what a vote of confidence this is in you? Because my $20 will be wasted if you're not still dating her when it gets cold. Okay? So, but see, it was $20. When you commit to a cruise and airfare and everything else, you better know what's coming out of your mouth. That's all. $656.54. Verdict for the plaintiff.
All right, we'll second.
Ruling has gone in favor of the plaintiff in this case, the defendant right here. What's going through your mind on the losing end of this decision?
I'm drawing blanks, honestly. I don't know what happened, but...
You had a good thing going with her. What happened?
I'm not a hustler. I pay my own way, but, I wish her the best.
Well, the relationship was good at one time, right?
Initially, it was all right.
It was initially good, and then what turned it for you?
She need more than I could give.
Mm-hmm. Did you give her some wrong signals at the beginning? That you were there for that kind of thing?
Maybe I did.
Okay.
Maybe I did.
All right, you just follow Officer McIntosh around the corner there. All right, come on in here and step on it and you're satisfied how this is finally wound up?
Very satisfied.
Did you get a little ahead of yourself here in this relationship?
I'd probably say yes.
Yeah?
I did. This was a learning experience for sure.
What'd you learn?
Never to one lend money and always let him pay.
Always. All right. Harvey?
You know, when you start fronting money for somebody that you just start dating, I got to tell you something. You should start thinking to yourself, am I trying to buy that person's love? Because if the answer is yes, it ain't going to work. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Tic Tac. Summer tastes like Tic Tac. Tantalize your taste buds this sunny season with citrus adventure and orange. 2 everyday flavors that bring summer in every. Tic Tac Citrus Adventure is a yummy, vibrant medley of lemon, lime, and mandarin. And Tic Tac Orange is the perfect mix of tangy and sweet. Visit us at Tic Tac USA on social to refresh your summer with Tic Tac.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This is a plaintiff, Dorothy Velez. She says the defendant was drunk, was driving the wrong way down a one-way street, and smashed into her parked car at 1 in the morning. The defendant's insurance company paid for the damages, but she's still on the hook for the impound fees on her smashed-up car. She's suing the irresponsible guy for $3,000, the amount she's most definitely and most positively owed. This is the defendant, John Vlasopoulos. He says he's actually very surprised by this lawsuit because his insurance company settled up with the plaintiff. Now she's coming after him because she took her sweet time getting her car out of storage. And he's responsible? He thinks not. He's accused of coming up short.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant smashed into her car in a drunken stupor, but he says the insurance company paid her and any other damages were her fault. It's the case of forget my high beams, I had my gym beams on.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Dorothy Velez, you are suing John Vlasopoulos for $3,000, $1,700 of it pain and suffering, and $1,300 of it impound fees for 2 months that you are being charged or were charged in order to get your car out of impound after it was impounded when he crashed it.
Right.
Okay, what day did this happen?
I believe it was the 8th.
Okay, of what?
March.
What happened?
I woke up to cops knocking on my door, and
what time of the night or day?
It was like at like 12:50, so by the time they did everything, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, so it was the next day. But they knocked on my door. They said someone had hit your car. I woke up, went outside, and seen that his car was into the second car already because he hit mine first. But my car got the worst of it. He pushed my car onto the curb and onto the second car. Backed up, tried to leave, pulled my car off, yet it's still on the curb. Messed his car up as he was trying to leave, hit the second car, which the second car...
How do you know how the accident happened? You weren't there.
My neighbors.
Saw it?
Yes.
Oh, so they described to you that it happened?
Yeah, they were outside, and when he tried to leave, the one neighbor said that she jumped in front of him. It jumped in front of the car and wouldn't let him leave to try to write his license plate.
Yeah, I don't recommend that at all.
Right.
Go on.
But she said that when he hit into her car hit the third car. So at that point, the cops were already on their way, and it was just a big mess.
What happened?
I had a passenger on the right side that I was taking home. She was staying over a friend's house, and I asked her to let me know when to make the turn to go down to her street. And right as we were coming up to the light, she says, make a right, make a right. So I made a quick right. I didn't see the first car on the right there, which was a black car. I had sideswiped the car, which was a one-way street. I was going the wrong way on a one-way street.
You can't notice that on your own, even if a passenger's telling you to make a right? You can't notice a one-way sign?
I understand that.
Yeah, were you drinking?
I wasn't paying it. No.
Were you stoned?
No.
Okay. What time of the night was this? 1 in the morning?
It was
midnight?
It was about 12:30. Yeah.
Okay.
So I sideswiped the one car on the right-hand side, which actually had broken my axle and caused my car to continue to swerve toward the right. The right side of the tire actually was wobbled out this way.
Did you try to leave?
No, I did not try to leave.
Why does the neighbor think you tried to leave?
I had placed my foot, I kept it on the brake and tried to put my car back in park in gear. And I heard a lady on the porch going, "You trying to leave? You trying to leave?" Nobody had jumped in front of my car. Nobody ran out to the street. That never happened. I just heard a lady yell, "He's trying to leave, he's trying to leave." And I wasn't trying to leave. I was just trying to get my car into park so I could get out and look at the damages to see how bad it really was.
Okay. How bad was it?
It was pretty bad.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Right. Now, apparently, your car gets towed.
Yes, got towed that night.
Why?
Because they said that they needed it because it was so damaged that it couldn't be on the street.
Okay, but why didn't you have it towed to a repair shop?
Because the police officer said they needed to take it to the impound so an appraiser from his insurance company can come look at it.
No, they don't need to take it to the impound so an appraiser from his insurance company can go look at it. They need to tell you you need to get it off the road because you can't have it parked there, crash. But it doesn't have to go to the police impound for that. Did you have tickets on it?
No.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
So
No.
I don't understand why it goes to police impound.
I didn't understand that either. And as a matter
why
of
didn't
fact,
you just take it out and put it in a place so that his insurance company can go visit it at a car repair place?
Because they were trying to total it.
Do you understand that when the car is an impound, they charge you by the day?
Yes, but I was under the impression that his insurance company was going to pay for that because that's what they had said in the beginning.
And now here you are with this enormous impound fee.
Right.
And you settled the case with the insurance company for how much?
For $17.
Did you mention the impound fees at that point?
Yes, and they said they refused to pay for it because they said it was too much.
So did you reject the $1,700?
At first, because I was trying to get enough so where I can fix my car and
pay the impound
but they weren't
and didn't
budging
the
at all.
insurance company say to you, "What are you doing with the car in impound?" Didn't the police say, "When are you going to pick up your car?"
Nothing.
But didn't you think? You know that they're billing you each day in impound, don't you?
Right, but
you just didn't care because you just figured somebody else would pay it.
No.
So each
No,
day,
no.
as month after month went by, didn't you foresee that there would be a problem? If you took it out the next day and brought it to a place, and everything happened the same way, all the same. The adjuster takes a sweet time. They take a while to settle with you. All that could happen somewhere where they're not charging you by the day.
I was on the insurance company on the phone with them every day. Literally, they were the worst insurance company to get a hold of. I was leaving messages after messages. They were returning my calls.
But you know that they're charging you by the day while it's in impound.
He had told me that I wasn't going to be having to pay for anything. He told me that they were going to take care of it, that they were going to settle, and they were waiting for other people to get back to them. There was also 2 other people in the accident, so they also had to get everything from their information and in order to settle, even to move on.
Do you have any proof that the insurance company instructed you to keep your bill at impound getting bigger and bigger and bigger, as opposed to that you just weren't worrying about it because you didn't think it would end up being your problem? Do you have anything in writing from them saying, "Don't move your car, please, by all means, leave it in a place where they're charging you how much a day?"
$25 a day.
$25 a day.
Yes, I do not.
Each day, it was a $25 problem on day one, and it's become now
and if I would have known that I was getting charged for this, I would have got it out that day.
But you did know you were getting charged. You just thought somebody else would reimburse it and pay it, so you weren't worried. But you knew that there was a charge for impound. You understand that.
Right, I do.
What's your position?
Honestly, like I said, I don't feel like I should have to pay for the how long the car was in the lot. It's not my responsibility to remove the car from the lot, so I don't believe I should have to pay for that. As far as pain and suffering,
Pain and suffering is very easy. I don't even need you to respond. This is a car accident. It's not pain and suffering. The fact that it's inconvenient does not mean you have a pain and suffering claim.
Okay.
Pain and suffering is for personal injury type cases, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying. What she's saying is, but for you driving like a maniac, I wouldn't have these problems. But what you're saying is, well, you created a second problem by leaving it an impound for 2 months. That problem I didn't create. You could have had it towed like everybody else does to a car repair shop, not to impound. But it is like mystifying how the insurance company who goes and visits it at impound and who knows that she's getting daily charge doesn't tell her, why is it still an impound? Move it. Maybe they did. I don't know. But I think if somebody had brought it up to her attention, I think she might have freaked out and taken it out. But I just, sometimes you just expect to act like an adult without anybody instructing you. Who's that gentleman who's raising his hand? Yeah, him. Yeah.
Yes, he's...
Yeah, some guy in the...
It's my boyfriend. He was the one who actually answered the door.
Say?
How you doing?
Thank you for dressing up for court, by the way.
Thank you. Well, when she was talking to the insurance company supervisor, whatever, they were... He neglected to tell us... He wanted to move our car to... somewhere in Gloucester County, but that was an inconvenience to us. How are we going to get our car back?
Because he had told me that I would have to get it back myself. And
so they did tell you to move the car to Gloucester County. That was very helpful what he just said. So they tell you to move the car to one of their facilities, and you say, no, we don't want to move the car. That's inconvenient for us. It's too far from us.
Because they told me that I would be responsible for getting it back. And truthfully, I'm a waitress.
How far is Gloucester County?
I live in Wildwood, New Jersey.
I don't know how far it is. How many minutes?
It's
about
probably, probably about an hour and a half, almost.
Half an hour? And you say an hour and a half?
Hour and a half.
Okay, so go on.
And he neglected to tell us that we were being charged for it on the lot every day.
Yeah, he didn't tell me. He told me that they were going to take care of it.
Why shouldn't you just know it? Like, why does somebody have to tell you?
This is the first time I've ever been. This is my first car.
Yeah, but you do actually know that, in fact, there is a charge, a daily charge for impound, because impound tells you that. So you know there's a daily charge for impound. So why wouldn't you try to mitigate the losses that are incurring instead of just racking up a bill of $25 every day?
I didn't know it was $25 a day until I got it towed home. But they had...
How'd you get it out and get it towed home? Did you pay it?
Yes.
Yeah, you had to pay the $1,300.
Yeah, it was... Yeah. And I actually had to pay $1,000 because she actually did me a favor because, she's a nice lady and she helped me out a lot. But
so why are you suing for $1,300 for the impound if you only paid $1,000?
Because I want to fix my car.
You want more money? But if you're out only $1,000 in impound, then that's what you'd be able to sue for, not $1,300 that you didn't pay. You
right.
understand
but
the idea behind court?
I also have right here where it says the damages that are done to my car.
Yeah, but you accepted $1,700 to cover the damages for your car. That's a total loss of your car. Like, in other words, you got paid for the full value of your car because that is apparently less than the repairs. So that's how insurance works. If it's a total loss, they're not going to pay $10,000 to fix a car worth $1,000. You're just going to get capped at the value of the car. So that's what ended up happening. But you want to be able to get the full value of the car and be able to fix the car, which is not necessarily your right. You got paid for the entire car. The big problem we have is this. It's very simple. There is a second problem that was created. The second problem is this enormous impound fee for leaving a car in impound with daily charges for 2 months. His answer to me is, Judge, I didn't do that part. He has no control over where you have them tow your car to. I just don't understand how you didn't tell them that night, tow it to this repair place.
The day I picked up my car, they
picked up your car. The day the accident happens, the cops asked you where to tow it to.
No, they towed it themselves. The cop.
Okay, but if you tell them, tow it to my mechanic, they'll tow it to your mechanic. They'll tow it wherever you want them to tow. If you don't have an answer and you don't have a mechanic and you say, oh, I don't know, they say, all right, we're taking it to impound because we can't leave it here. So you got to get it because the cops had to have told you there was a charge for impound. And there is a charge for impound. How about just finding out if there's a charge for impound? You have to know this. You know there's a charge for impound. You already told me you did. You just didn't worry about it because you figured somebody else would pick up the bill. And so you let it become a problem almost as big as the car damage. And that's crazy. How's that his fault? How does he have to pay that?
Well, he hit me in the first place, so he's the main reason.
Yeah, but if he hits me, I'm not an impound for 2 months. If he hits him, are you an impound for 2 months?
Not happening.
No.
So the bill, the impound bill is $3,000. Should he have to pay $3,000 to this woman?
No.
Why not? Why should he? Yeah.
Well, I think if she is not smart enough to take it to the repair shop,
right,
she should have to pay because it's her mistake.
You know what? Nobody can do better than what you just said. You're right. Going inside the courtroom.
Look, I understand that there's a lot of confusion out there that night and that, it's not your fault that this happened. It's completely his fault that it happened. So I can understand if it takes you a day, 2 days to get your bearings together. But 2 months? 2 months was a conscious decision on your part. That part's not his fault. I mean, this happened between a Thursday to a Friday, correct? So let's say it takes you Friday. I'll give you Saturday. Sunday's a day of rest. I'll give you Sunday. By Monday, you ought to be getting your act together and figuring out that the charges are piling up, that the insurance company wasn't about to airdrop money on your lap the next day, and that maybe it's not the best idea to have it there for 2 months. So I'm going to order him to pay you 4 days, $100 worth of storage at that place. But after that, these are conscious decisions that you make that ended up being bad decisions. That's my verdict.
All right, so the plaintiff collects a little bit, nothing on pain and suffering and all that, but a little bit of storage fees. What's your feeling on that outcome there?
I wasn't even worried about the storage fees as much as I was worried about him helping me fix my car. My car was worth saving, and I still believe that it's worth saving. And truthfully, $100 doesn't really do anything, but it's going to get put to fixing my car.
Okay.
It's going to go.
At least you learned, maybe you should have been a little more on top of things and gotten.
I was on top of things. I was on the phone every day.
Really?
His insurance company, like I said, was the worst insurance company. Okay. Nobody ever called me back or nothing. Right. It was ridiculous.
All right. Head right this way. Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. And so come on in here. It's really not her. It's none of her fault what happened. Yes. And you're maybe not responsible legally for some fees, but you're responsible for putting her in this position.
Yes. I mean, I really apologize for the accident. It was totally my fault. I do believe that the judge had a fair and just decision.
That is a wacky accident. Just went out of control?
Absolutely. See, like I said, when I made the right, I had sideswiped the one car. It broke my axle, which caused
You're lucky. It could have been a lot worse.
I know,
a lot worse things could have happened, right?
Yes.
All right, Harvey?
You are not allowed to sit on your hands and just accumulate damages, which she did. You have a duty in the law. It's called mitigation of damages, minimizing your damages. She didn't do it, and that's why she suffered. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
What does every USAA member have in common? Family. We're one big family who supports the military community and their eligible families. And if you, your parent, or spouse served, you could join our family and save big on auto insurance. Visit USAA.com/join today to check your eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
This is the plaintiff, Michelle McNeil. She says the defendant, her husband's cousin, botched a siding job they hired him for. And family or no family, they're suing. That's right, the defendant admitted after the job was done he had no idea what he was doing. And he's right, because the siding on their house is now buckling and looks terrible. People even laugh at her when they drive by, and it's embarrassing. She's suing for $3,000, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, Israel. He says the plaintiff's one of those impossible-to-please kind of gals, if you know what he means. He went back 3 or 4 times to fix the littlest of problems and was then ordered off the property. The plaintiff then told him she was going to hire someone else for the job. Bottom line, he did things right and deserves his money. He's accused of being a sloppy cider.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant screwed up the siding on her house, but the defendant says she's just an impossible chick. It's the case of you're sliding on the siding.
Okay, Michelle and Marvin McNeil, yes. You are suing, you've asked us to refer to you only as Israel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Israel's construction company for $3,000, the amount you paid him to have some siding put up that apparently has become a problem. Tell me what happened.
My husband hired his cousin to put siding up.
Oh, he's your husband's cousin?
Correct.
Oh, geez.
And, we noticed that the siding was actually coming away from the house and slapping back when the wind blew.
Did he do the whole house or just that one
No,
portion?
he did the whole house.
The whole house?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you noticed that what?
That it would come from the house and slap, like if the wind blows, it comes from the house and then it slapped back to the house.
I don't know what that means, that it's detaching?
Yes.
Like a few boards of it or everything?
It was just at the top at first, just one slab of it. And then we called him about that, and he came out and tried to fix it, but it started getting worse. It broke off. A piece broke off and fell on the ground. And then now the piece that fell off, there's another piece that still flaps from my house, and it literally is hanging out, and you can see it a lot. My husband called him about it. He tried to come and fix it, but it didn't work. And it's getting worse and worse. Like if the rain, when it rains, it flaps out. If the wind blows real hard, it actually comes out.
When you keep saying comes out, I don't know, how does it go back in?
It doesn't. It's not actually attached. It just hasn't fell off the house yet. I mean, I have pictures showing what I'm...
Let me see the pictures. What's going on?
It's definitely coming back and forth off. What happened was...
Why?
Actually, the spot that they put the siding on, it was a bad spot anyway because they took out the chimney on the side of the house. And so when you took out that chimney, the wall is soft anyway. So I guess when the wind gets up under there, and we had a windstorm out there at that time, it popped it out. So
why can't you just put the siding the way the siding's supposed to be?
Well,
is this your job? Do you put siding on for a living, or you do something else?
Yeah,
what is your job?
Yeah, well, I do all kinds of phases of remodeling of houses, and I have never had any suits or any...
Are you a licensed contractor?
Yes, I'm a licensed.
Okay. Yeah. So what is your answer? That it's a soft wall, it's the wall's fault? I mean, that's not kind of...
Well, what I did was I admitted that it had to be something that I did wrong. I went out there like twice.
What is it you did wrong? Have you figured it out?
Well, the guy that I have helped doing it, he probably didn't do it exactly right. So
no, we know that. What did he do wrong? Have you figured it out?
I don't think he cut it properly. That's what I'm thinking it could be.
And in fact, your new company tells you that what?
My new company?
Don't you have a new company now that you're proposing to have do it?
Yes, ma'am. For one, he puts it too tight. He's using the wrong screw. I have drywall nails in my siding. I took pictures, you can see it hanging out. You're not supposed to even use drywall nails. And another thing, he told us, me and my husband, in our driveway, he didn't even know how to put siding on. He asked my husband to help him put it on, and he'll pay my husband. My husband said no. And I told him, we didn't pay my husband to help you put it on. We paid you. That's your company. He did not know what he was doing, Your Honor.
Why don't you stop him?
Well, he came when we were at work. That's the thing. Another thing about it, he would show up at our house while we were at work.
Well, that's his work, and I mean that makes sense. It's not cagey.
Well, and see, I've never seen anything he ever did. I looked at it like our house was the first house he ever practiced on.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well, so now what have you done to try to correct this problem? You've gone to a new company.
Yes, ma'am.
And the new company tells you what? To remove and replace. Is this just a problem on one wall?
It's actually, there's different things going around the whole house. At the peak of my house, I have to where birds go in and stuff now because he never put siding up there, which he was supposed to.
Do you have a picture of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see. Let me see all the pictures that you have.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You can just drop it.
That bird thing is where they had the chimney at, where they had the whole chimney taken out. They had all that took out before we even got started.
So?
And so when her insurance company, my insurance company went out there, the insurance company said it was okay job. They had to inspect it. And then...
What's this over here?
That's where he was supposed to put siding. That's the peak of the house at the top where he was supposed to put siding up. And now I have birds and probably squirrels.
Why didn't you put siding there?
No, because that was where everything was taken off because of the gutters and everything was stripped off of there.
I don't understand what you're saying. Did you finish that or you didn't finish that?
No, I didn't finish that because I wasn't supposed to finish at the time, because at the time was nothing there, period.
I don't understand why you don't cut a piece of siding to fit that and cover it. Why would you leave it open?
The whole problem, Your Honor, it is, I agreed to do anything for replacing and doing. When I went up there to fix it, she stopped me.
Yeah,
she
I would too. What's going on here? This is the wall, and where's the rest of the siding here?
That's actually my garage, ma'am, and
I never did know that garage.
he didn't, and it was supposed to be included. My garage.
Well, I don't know. Let me see your contract.
No, it wasn't included.
Well, we'll just look at the contract and figure out what was included and what was not. Give me the contract you have with him.
I have 2 different ones. He wrote out 2 different ones.
Oh, why is that?
I think it was to scam my insurance company.
Were you shocked and appalled when you discovered that? Or are you the one who directed him to do it?
No, I actually didn't talk to him about it. It was more of my husband.
You or your husband?
Yeah, it was my husband.
Exactly. Yeah, so there's the 6,881, and then there's a personal one for 4,880.
That was the original price.
Neither of which were paid because what was actually paid was 3,000. There's no dispute about that, right?
Right.
Now, what is your defense to the lawsuit?
So, do homeowners typically, when they have a problem with a house, if there's wind gusts that damage something or somebody drives into the house, do they typically try to screw over the insurance company by getting estimates that are higher than the actual cost of repairing the property? Be honest.
I think some do, but usually you get an appraiser and they would have their own professional opinion.
Well, okay, but do they try and do this? Is that part of the game?
Some people would.
Boy, you're being so cautious, sir. What do you think?
Oh, I think so. Yes, I think they do.
Do they do that, guys?
I think so.
Yes.
Do you know what? I just looked at this guy. I got to tell you this. This is weird, but do you know who you look like? Who do people tell you look like? I swear, I just saw this.
I don't know.
You look like Robert De Niro. You do. You have his face. Do you see this at all? Anybody? Am I crazy? Okay, the answer was yes to the last, going inside the courtroom.
Well, the only defense I had was when I went back to try to do work on it, was just one piece that she was complaining about. She wanted to do the whole job. And I would do anything to fix it. But she had a guy come out there, contractor come out there and said, oh, this is a crappy job. This whole thing is terrible. I'd do this thing for a little bit of nothing. Any contractor would do that. And so when I went back, the insurance said go back and put that piece in there right. She told me, get off the ladder, don't do anything. So that's the reason why we're here.
How many times had you tried to fix the piece at that point?
3 times. The third time is when she.
How many times is that? I agree with you that if she doesn't let you fix it once, she's a jerk. But after she's let you try to fix it 3 times, and the problem keeps happening, don't you think that maybe she's justified in losing a little bit of faith in your skills?
Yes, ma'am.
Particularly when pigeons are getting inside her house?
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
Return the money. $3,000 verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Plaintiff gets the money back, and the defendant comes out into the hallway right here, smiling but having lost this decision.
Yes, I lost, but that particular spot, it was messed up on it, and it's just how it goes. It kept messing up, and I just had to suffer.
It's a word of mouth business, right?
Yes.
For you, know, so
yes.
This isn't going to help you much?
Well, that's all right. That's all right.
All right, good luck. All right, head right down this way. Maybe not his finest work. Was it, you chalk it up to maybe a mistake or what?
No, he actually came to me and my husband and literally told us that he did not know what he was doing. So, I mean...
How'd you like that, hearing that, when you hire a guy and pay him?
I think you could have seen smoke blowing from my head. Mm-hmm. I was really angry. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want him to finish it.
Maybe you didn't do the right research before you hired somebody?
That's true. I mean, I let my husband make the decisions as far as all that type of stuff, and
you blaming the husband?
No, but he's the man, and
okay.
You know, he the one who deals with the house and stuff.
All right, over to Harvey.
So if you get a home improvement job done, I'm telling you, it is so important that what you need to do is get an email from the person doing it. I mean, ideally put it in the contract, but at the very least, get an email from the person doing the job ahead of time, laying out specifically what's supposed to be done. And when I say specifically, I mean materials used, scope of the job, price of the job, length of the job, everything you can think of. I'm telling you, it will serve you in the end.